Hello everybody, today we are going to be talking about this vivarium here. This one is home to my 2.2 group of Dipsosaurus dorsalis, otherwise known as the desert iguana. They generally come from Southern America, sort of northern parts of Mexico, in very arid, very desert areas. In the wild they'll generally be found around chrysote bushes. Unfortunately this can be quite difficult to replicate in captivity due to the size those bushes get. So this enclosure is more set up as a sort of rocky, arid sort of setup. So as I said, there are 4 in here. There are 2 males and 2 females. I'm hoping to start breeding them next year because generally in the hobby most of them tend to be wild caught because they are notoriously difficult to breed. So we shall see what happens. Stay posted. You can see one of my females there at the back. Now this vivarium is 4 foot wide, it's 2.5 foot deep, and it's 2.5 foot tall as well. Now for heating, you can see the basking lamp up there. That is an Arcadia halogen 75 watt bulb, which produces their basking temp to about 47-48 degrees centigrade. Now these guys like it hot, so that might seem hot to some, and that's probably why a lot of people don't keep them, because they're scared of how hot these guys actually require it. Next to it there we have got a 100 watt ceramic lamp, which doesn't really do anything. It's more there for my peace of mind as a backup to keep the heat up should that bulb ever blow. UV wise, you probably can't see it, but at the top there, yes you can, we have an Arcadia Dragon lamp, which is the 14%. As I said, these guys come from very arid, very hot, very bright places. I originally had them on a 10%, and when I changed them to the 14%, the difference in their behaviour and characteristics was immense. They become a lot more active, so it was definitely for the better. In terms of the substrate is a very arid substrate. It's mostly play sand with some topsoil mixed in, and sort of some loose red gravel to create sort of an arid mix. The substrate itself is quite deep, as you can see. That's the plinth, and it's pretty much to the top. It's probably about 8-9 inches deep. These guys absolutely love to dig. They will dig all day long, and in fact they do. I'm forever putting the substrate back to fill the big holes. Now you can see in here there's lots of hides. We've got a cork tube here which they can go in there and they can come out the tunnel over there. Again, we've got another one here which runs over to the back and comes out the far end over there. So there's also another little hole in here they can come in and out. Over on the basking or the hot side, we have this rock pile. Now these are all real rocks. They're held together with excavated clay. As you can see there, they are fully supported. Actually underneath this layer of box, just under the substrate, there is actually a layer of house bricks. This provides a stable platform for them, and also stops the desert iguana from actually digging underneath, which is critical for these guys, because if they can dig underneath it, they will, and the last thing you want is them getting the trapped tail or head underneath the rocks, which has been known to happen. Fortunately not here. Now within this rock crevice, they've got sort of lots of little hides. There's one in here, they've got one down here. Now this one actually has an entrance that comes out the back down here as well. We've got some cactus wood there, and there's another one yellow. You see there's another one behind that tree there, which actually got one of my males hiding underneath it. Now diet wise, these guys are solely herbivores, although they have been known to take mealworms, and I do occasionally see them taking mealworms. Their diet generally consists of sort of leafy matter. I've actually got some bee pollen in here, which is the yellow stuff, and there's also some blueberries. Now both of those are sort of treat items and not regular fed items. This food's been in here for a few hours now, and they've eaten most of it. You can also see, I think there's some down here somewhere. I actually have custodians in this arid setup, so you can see these guys here. Now these guys are actually superworm beetles. There are also super worms themselves in here. They are a self-sustaining population now, and they do a pretty good job of cleaning up the food that the iguanas take out of the bowl. As I said, there's also mealworm and mealworm beetles in here. There's dermestide beetles as well. But they mostly tend to hide away during the day where it's quite hot. Now, these guys are not known for being aggressive in any way. They quite happily live in a social group. The worst you'll get is the males will sort of display to each other. Also almost looks like they're doing push-ups. And that's pretty much the same story from all the keepers I know that actually keep this species. Now, there's not a lot more to it than that really. They're a relatively simple animal to keep. I wish more people would keep them. They are full of character and all have very individual characters. Now, they can tame down quite nicely if handled regularly. Some will, some won't. It's kind of potluck. Now, one other question I get asked a fair bit is, why do you put branches in them? They don't climb. I thought I'd put them in there, see what happens. One of the males does occasionally climb up onto the branches, but I think it's more for the aesthetics of the tank. As I said, this tank is what I would call fully bioactive, so the custodians take care of the majority of the waste, although I do still poo pick on a daily basis. In terms of supplements for feeding for these guys, I use a range of different products. So one of them I use is the Repeshi Super Veggie. That tends to get sprinkled on every 3 days or so. Occasionally mix in some of the Arcadia Herbie Mix Earth Pro, which I also use for the tortoise who's down there. And on the odd occasion I will throw in some of the flower boost as well, but they don't seem quite so keen on this. I don't know if it's just too dry for them. And that's it really. Stay tuned, there'll be more videos coming. I'll be doing one on the Aki Viv. We've got the 2 Aki monitors in there, and I'll be doing one on the big Viv at the bottom, which is actually home to my Herman's tortoise. And I'll be doing another video which you may have already seen on the frog tank there, which currently doesn't have anything, any animals in it, but I will do soon. So stay tuned. Thanks for listening. See you soon.